Rob, can you pull up some of the clips from the greatest roast of all time? By the way, ESPN just posted this, which is hilarious. Actually, they posted a day ago, but I just saw it right now. Randy Moss in the roast said to Tom Brady, "Why the F didn't we cheat when I was there?" That is so funny. 17-0. You have to start off with the great Tony Hinchcliffe. Just watch this guy. Unfreaking believable talent. How he owns the stage. Go ahead, Rob.
Tom is afraid of the Giants, which is why Kevin Hart is hosting tonight. All night, he's been using the stool that Aaron Hernandez kicked out from under himself. Kevin is so small that when his ancestors picked cotton, they called it deadlifting. Tom Brady is a patriot, which is surprising considering he looks like a Confederate fag. Clearly, your ex-wife takes after you. I hear she's out there draining balls right now. People love you, Tom. You have the same fan base as Kyle Rittenhouse. Gronk, I'm happy you could take a break from writing Santa letters to be here today. I knew you were here when we were all out of chocolate milk backstage. You look like the final boss in George Floyd, the video game. Jeff is so Jewish, he only watches football for the coin toss. Nikki has such a bad eating disorder, the industry keeps shoving her down our throat. You might recognize her from her podcast appearances, specials, and winning the Triple Crown at Churchill Downs. You might recognize Kevin as the jockey that rode her, and that's Churchill Downs, the racetrack, not to be confused with what Jeff Ross looks like when he smokes a cigar. Sam J, an obese African-American lesbian, so by having here, Netflix checked off a lot of boxes. Andrew Schultz, I'm glad you took a break from watching YouTube videos on how to dap up black dudes correctly. Schultz's mom is a professional ballroom dancer, which means she's a stripper that talks too much. Bert Kreischer is a king. He looks like if the Tiger King and the Liver King only ate Burger King and had a liver that looked like Martin Luther King got beat up by Rodney King. And how about the appearance from the great Ron Burgundy, huh? A whale's vagina, which reminds me, Kim Kardashian's here. She's had a lot of black men celebrate in her end zone. Kim, word of advice, close your legs. You have more public beef than Kendrick and Drake. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Netflix.
She's wearing her cross for protection. Oh,
by the way, what was that? And play Kim's if you could. This is Kim up there. Go for it.
Well,
a lot of boos. Yeah, because they're awake.
I know a lot of people make fun of your height.
Yeah, good for you.
All right.
Good.
All right.
Yes. People know that you're trash.
I think she looks great.
You think so?
All right, Kevin.
Yeah.
She's trash, bro. Go. You want me?
Oh, did you see how the joke finished though?
No,
I don't know if you can finish. She said a lot of people make fun of your height, but what they also don't know is that you're very mean, making you the smallest black dick I've ever seen. So that was a good joke.
Yeah, but listen. I'm happy that the people get it. Her claim for fame was what?
Having the sex tape, yeah.
And hold on.
20 years ago.
No, Adam, I don't care if it was 50 years ago. Why is she a top A-list? Dude, she needs freaking Secret Service security when she's out. How is she famous? And Barbara Walters said the best. She's like, none of you have any talent. Why are you famous? Because you
don't need talent to be famous these days, Vinny.
And guess what, though?
Just like you don't.
And then I don't have to respect you, and I'm happy when people boo, and I'm sick and tired of little moms letting their daughters go, I look up to Kim Kardashian. Why? Because she blows guys on video? She's disgusting, bro. She's a disgusting.
I'm not defending Kim.
Yeah, no.
But that's the reality we're living in.
Our reality sucks.
We're in the attention economy. Eyeballs equals money. There it is.
Yeah.
That self-explains where we are in society today.
Yeah, and ready for
it's why people watch Jake Paul fight more than actual boxers.
Yeah, well, yeah, but
it's the same reason.
This is a different story. When your mother brokers the deal for your sex tape and goes, no, she's blowing him better in that one. Sell that one and not that one. The hell with boxing. That is disgusting. And what would you put in the most famous people on the planet? Top, recognizable faces.
I mean, look at her Q score. She's a top 10 person. But it's not just her. It's her sister. It's Chloe.
Disgusting.
It's this one. It's this one.
Whores.
They're billionaires.
About the roast of Tom Brady.
I'm sorry. I'm just disgusted by these people.
This went from Tom Brady to, what did you think about the roast of Tom Brady?
I thought it was great television.
Mm-hmm.
I thought there was so much about it that was fascinating. I agree with you. That guy is one of the most viciously brilliant guys I've seen in a long time.
Hinchcliffe.
Oh, Tony's
I mean,
sick.
I
He's
would
sick.
never go anywhere near that guy. He is so smart, and he has such a sophistication of nasty. But there was like 10 different reasons to love the special. From Brady's reaction to what mattered to him and didn't, the interplay of the different people. This guy who's going to be the new Maniscalco, if people, can get over the being offended by what he says part. I thought it was the best of its kind. I can't remember the last time I enjoyed like a Friars kind of roast the way I did this one. I hope they can somehow repeat it. You know what I mean? Like that we can see more of them. I thought it was awesome.
You know how the only way it happens like that, Chris? If it stays on something like Netflix. This can't live on like a Comedy Central or network.
Did you hear what Dana White said?
Yeah.
Pull up Dana White.
Dana was one of my favorites because he's a good actor.
Yeah,
Pat.
pull up Dana White's. And Dana White is the shortest out of all of them. Here, I'm going to share it with you, Rob. It's literally 19 seconds, but he crushes it. Check your text.
I love how angry he is. I love it.
How many seconds is it? Let me see. Yeah, just play that whole thing. Play the whole thing. It's worth it. Watch this.
Dana.
Not my thing, so I'm going to keep this short like Gronk's bus. Actually, let me get into this real quick. It pisses me off. I flew all the way out here, and you guys give me 60 seconds?
Yeah.
My name is Dana. Is that not trans enough for you liberal fucks? No? All right. Awesome. Tom, you played for the Patriots for so long that I was actually starting to feel like you were from Boston. Then I saw you run, and I was like, no, he's definitely from San Francisco. You led the league for 20 years in passing as a straight guy.
That's funny.
Come on. That was a good one.
That was a good one.
Hey, I got two of the baddest dudes in the world here right now. Sugar Sean O'Malley.
Oh, wow.
And Max Holloway. Tom, you would have been a great fighter. You're already the master of the ground and pound. That's what you call coffee dates with your boyfriend, Alex Guerrero.
Holy
One
shit.
more thing. You people probably don't know this, but Jeff Ross was very interested in the UFC. He thought it meant unlimited fried chicken. I love you, Tom.
Dana White, ladies and gentlemen.
So there were so many storylines. The stars came out to this. Here's just a quick list of the people that I saw speak. Kevin Hart, Kim Kardashian, Will Ferrell, Dana White, Ben Affleck, Bill Belichick, Gronk, who's the owner? Robert Kraft, Peyton Manning, Ben Affleck, like the list. Andrew Schultz, our boy.
Ben Affleck was angry. Did you see Ben Affleck?
he was angry.
He was angry.
He was angry about it.
He probably got into an argument with J-Lo.
Oh, that's 100%.
Highlights for me, the Kevin Hart got Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft to come up and take a shot together. He just got fired by Robert Kraft.
Notice, Belichick didn't drink it, whatever it was. I never saw him drink it.
He didn't. Oh, he probably didn't.
No, Robert drank, but Bill is like...
Bill didn't drink it?
I didn't see him play it.
Oh, Robert's banging hookers. He's down.
Massage.
Somebody said about massage.
You saw Tom, there was one thing he got upset about when Jeff Ross said, how's the massage?
Really get upset
no,
about
he literally got out of his seat and he goes, don't do that shit again.
But was that a joke or...
No, that was serious.
Did you think that was serious?
No. I thought it was so...
But you could be right. I could be wrong.
I look super serious.
Robert, we can't hit... Yeah, there you go. Audio.
I want to say this is the greatest coach in the history of the game that did what no one else has done. And having
He just fired
Tom
him,
Brady and him was the greatest honor the good Lord gave me. So,
They're not looking at each other in the eyes.
He
doesn't do it.
No,
He didn't drink it.
I don't know.
Hassan Minaj.
No, he drank it. There
Did he?
Okay, there we go.
Oh, okay.
The black man made it happen. Two other storylines. Everyone, I mean, the easiest, most straightforward joke is Gronk is basically educationally challenged. I almost use the R word there. But me, want real money, a.k.a. crypto. He made fun of Tom Brady, paying him in crypto. Even Peyton Manning doubled down on that. But you got to give it to Tom. The Giselle jokes were flying left and right. Nikki Glaser was like, Tom's has 7 rings. Well, 8 if you count
the one that
the
she
ring
gave
that
back.
Giselle gave back. And then even at the end, his final coup de grace was said, been a great sport. A lot of jokes tonight. The truth is, I missed the love of my life. Football. So
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Someone made a joke about, it was Nikki Glaser. She said, the biggest mistake you made was allowing Giselle to learn jiu-jitsu because she basically divorced him and now she's banging the Brazilian jiu-jitsu instructor.
Yeah.
But shout out to Tom Brady. What a sport.
Oh, and just think about it. All around comedy, finally, they let it come back.
Yeah.
Everybody got crapped on equally. Nobody was like, hey, racist, hey, trans, hey, whatever. And Tony Hinchcliffe is the modern day Don Rickles. He doesn't give a damn.
Good.
He's raw.
You're bringing up Don Rickles.
Yeah.
This format was pioneered by Dean Martin.
And they talked about that.
Dean Martin's Celebrity Roast. They pioneered it when they had to keep it PG rated on television, and it was fantastic. And the humor that's best is the humor that is subtle, and the humor that is
True.
Because
When it's true.
correct.
It's
True
funny
stuff.
because
very
it's true.
It doesn't have to be
Kevin
sexual.
Hart is short.
It doesn't have to be
Gronk
sexual. It
is
doesn't
slow.
have to be profane. And Brady himself saying.
Kim Kardashian
is a hoe. Right.
Yeah. But Brady, I appreciated. I was watching a highlight and what he said about Gronk. He said Gronk was useful on the field, although the bar for the Patriots tight end was pretty low. Block, catch, don't murder.
Don't murder.
Oh, my God.
And Aaron Hernandez reference, yes.
And so
Went over people's heads.
I love the roast, and I love the ones that were subtle, that hit on truth. The best comedy is always in truth.
Yeah.
The potty humor and everything's going to come with it. But I thought it was a great format, and I thought it was really good
It
television.
is good news that you can be offended, and it's not a cause of action.
Yeah.
I love that.
I think that's what. And look, some people won't want to say that, especially in the media, because it seems like that you're not respecting that there is a vulnerability to a lot of these groups that are targeted. But that's life.
Yeah.
And what have we learned as a culture? When you squash everybody for saying things, does it make those things go away? No. It actually makes them all worse and felt more deeply.
Would you do a roast if people came to roast?
Oh, 100%. Oh,
yeah.
I love that.
100%.
Well, Cuomo has a little S&M thing.
Chris said something very interesting about offense.
Well,
Well, I'll tell you this, and PPD, I want to hear what you say. I say it's not racist if you make fun of everybody. Shout out to Andrew Schultz. He's one of the greats. I mean, he's up there. I don't know what he said. I don't know if you saw his positions.
I spoke to him, yes.
What was your favorite part of this?
Of what?
Of the roast, yeah.
Oh, to me, it's Hinchcliffe. Honestly, I thought Hinchcliffe was freaking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me with his timing and the way he did it and cool and collected on stage? I thought he was on fire, what he did. Everybody else was good. A lot of funny moments. Hinchcliffe is here. Everybody else was here.
Would you allow him to do a roast of you?
Of course. Yeah. Of course. No problem. There's an element of this. Stephen A. said it best. He says, look, no matter what we talk about here, we have to respect the fact that Brady approved this.
Yes.
Because Brady is... he is the guy that if you remember one thing about Brady's interviews, what were Brady's post-game interviews? It was, yes, you got to give them a lot of respect. They're a very strong opponent, and they always come prepared. Their defense, they're coached well. Their ownership team, everybody's well. We just have to go back to the drawing board, and we have to improve. We got areas. If you play every game that he's ever played, and you were to put an outline of what percentage of the time he gave the answer I gave you, 80% of the time, that's the answer.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to give the media anything to come back. So he's always played it super safe with, even when I think one time they found a MAGA hat in his locker room or whatever.
Crazy.
Do you remember that when they found the MAGA hat in the locker room? And that's the reference the guy made to Kyle Rittenhouse or whatever he said. So where is it where... that one right there. We're zooming in.
When he had to say Trump is my friend, he was admitting that he committed a crime.
Right. So then after that, it's kind of like, look, I'm just going to play this. So for him to agree to do this, I think you got to give him credit and props to him. It was funny as hell.
You know who you also got to give credit to? Because before this, because this is going down as one of the greatest roasts, Donald Trump did a roast. You got to give him credit.
Snoop.
He showed up.
It ain't
That
the
was
first
Comedy
time
Central.
you kicked a black man out of his house.
But look at how...
Talking about Obama.
Yeah.
Look at how politicized. Yeah, it was amazing. Look
By
at
the
how
way, Snoop came out saying good things about Trump just a couple months ago.
But look how politicized we've come as a country. What year was the Donald Trump roast? I'm guessing 10 years ago.
11.
March 15,
Okay.
2011.
All right.
Wow.
Now he won't even show up to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. You've probably been to that.
Yep.
I got invited.
I won't
one
go
time.
either.
Really?
But for very different
But
reasons.
Biden shows up, Trump won't go because it's so left politically. And that's where we are. So thank God that they can take a joke here on Netflix.
Yeah,
Shout out.
I
You know,
thought-
it was
I
nice
thought it
to
was
see.
great.
It was nice to see an event where people that were kind of offending each other and poking at each other, that it doesn't result in cancellations.
Yes.
A week ago, and it went by.
Yet.
One of the greatest comedies of all time turned 50 years old, and that was Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
And the quote that was attributed to Mel
Black
Brooks
sheriff.
was, "I wasn't worried about offending anyone because the purpose was to offend everyone."
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I saw Carol O'Connor. Remember
Black
him?
Sheriff.
Archie Bunker was Carol O'Connor.
Yeah.
And
Archie!
It was an old interview of him. And I had gotten involved with him a little bit towards the end of his life because he became a huge advocate against drug addiction because of what happened with his son. And the guy says, well, you played one of the signature characters of all time, a lovable bigot. And he kind of like winced and said, no, I don't think Archie was a lovable bigot. I think that he was an obvious character that exists in our society. And you're able to laugh at what he says, but you are usually laughing at him for saying it. And he said, I really hope we never get afraid of that. And we did.
Wow.
It hasn't been enough until maybe, I don't want to put too much on this special, but until this special, you had to be careful in recent years what you found funny. And I've watched this, because I've been living in the crucible of the cultural change. I had no idea when I said on Good Morning America many years ago, there was a transgender male who wound up being pregnant. And it was treated way too fairly as a scientific mystery. And I remember being on set and, in retrospect, stupidly saying, what do you mean, when can a man have a woman? It's a baby. It's when you're a woman.
Yeah.
This is a biological woman. That's why she's pregnant, because she has a uterus, right?
Yeah.
And there was quiet on the set. Conversation moved on, went. And this was a decade ago, over. And I remember watching the shift to, you don't get to say things even if they're obvious. If they're going to be offensive, be careful. I called Prince Harry. I said, well, they call him the Spare, right? Mm-hmm. I got crushed. Now, what is this book called? The Spare. He's always been called the Spare. You have to be able to be offended without it being a cause of action. It only makes everything worse. And that's what's happening in our culture.
Yeah.
All of the things we wanted to protect against have gotten worse.
Cuomo, food for thought. Ready?
Please.
Who was you talking about? All in the Family, Archie Bunker. Who was the creator of that? Norman Lear.
He just passed.
He just passed in December. Why do I know this? Because I actually watched the basically documentary on Norman Lear. So here's the question. Are race relations worse now in America, or are they worse in the 70s on the heels of the 68 riots, MLK assassination, right after the Civil Rights Act? I would argue that it's potentially worse now because of cancel culture. Why the hell would I say that? What were the biggest shows of Norman Lear? All in the Family, which is based on the Jeffersons, George Jefferson, Sanford and Sons, Reds, Fox. What you talking about, Wheezy? Right, with George Jefferson, the most famous
I can't
scene
let you
ever.
in, Esther.
That's
Why?
right.
You're too ugly.
Exactly. The most famous scene, just to tell you, to give you a little perspective of where we are in 2024 versus 1972. The culmination of whatever year this was in the 70s, George Jefferson, moving on up to the east side, came to visit Archie Bunker's house. You remember this? Most famous scene ever, because I'm a big sitcom guy. Archie Bunker, white racist. George Jefferson, black businessman. They won't talk to each other. They won't shake hands. The wives like, come on, Georgie. There it is right there. They started going back and forth. You racist. You a Negro. You a cracker. You a honky. You a dead honky. Boom. Like, this was in the 70s. That wouldn't be allowed today.
No way.
50 years later. How effing ridiculous
But maybe
is that?
we're coming
In the
back to it being allowed. You remember Richard Pryor with Chevy Chase on Saturday Night Live doing the job interview?
Oh, God.
Yes.
That's
Where-
one of the
I
big
have a little
played with that.
Rorschach. I have a little
Sanford
Rorschach
and
for
Son,
it.
where he's in
Yes.
traffic court, where he says, "Hey, how come you only pull over black people?" to this white cop, and the white cop says, "Well, that's not true." And he goes, "What are you talking about? You have enough N-words in here to make a Tarzan movie." And everybody in the courtroom goes crazy. The audience goes crazy. It was obviously ad-libbed.
Yeah.
Red Fox, as a black man,
Yeah.
would be dragged if he did that today. He'd be in some weird apology mode for making a joke. I'm hoping that we're getting out of it.
I think we will.
I think so.
I think bad ideas eventually fail and get exposed.
so.
I want to talk business here, Tom. We got 30 minutes and a few stories to go through here. Here's one of them. I do want to talk about the campus in a minute, so hang tight for that. And by the way, everybody that's watching this, if you heard the exchange with Chris on the COVID or anything, you got questions for him, just connect him right there. That's his QR code.
So you guys are coming at me on Manect, and the answer is yes. And if you want to do videos, if you think that you have points that I'm missing, bring them to me. And, you guys are queuing up. That's fine. I'm going to answer all of them right after the podcast. I'll go one at a time. So bring it on. That's why I'm here.
There you go.
Let's get it.
Fantastic.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.